Hi everybody, thank you for taking the time to join this video. This is another uh, episode of Funky Fresh Raised Thoughts, if anything. But this is a particular topic I wanted to cover because I had a friend that was willing and able to open up to me regarding this situation, and it gave me a lot of understanding, and I hope I can give others understanding of this topic and situation that my friend is involved in. She gave me permission to speak of it and use her as the example because this is what she's being faced with. So I want to start off by saying there's people that like to question others, and when I say question, I mean especially when they're in a relationship with, let's say, an abusive partner. And they know this because the friend or the family member talks about it with them, and they can recognize that it's a bad situation to be in, but then the friend labels them or criticizes them because they're still in the relationship. Why are you still in the relationship? You have such a problem with this guy. Why are you still with him? Same thing with men. Why are you with this girl? She's abusive, whatever the case is. When I speak about abuse, I'm not only talking about physical abuse, and I know that's a lot. That's what a lot of you tend to go at right away, is the physical abuse. But there's other types of abuse. There's mental abuse, there's emotional abuse, and there's narcissistic behavioral abuse. I recommend that everybody look up that narcissistic behavioral abuse topic and get to know what that is, because you will be very, very, very intrigued, and it's sad to know that there's people like this living amongst us. And that alone right there, it shows me a lot that and how women can be misled or manipulated in ways that I couldn't even imagine. But I wanted to do this video to kind of keep everybody informed and aware of what is really going on in these type of relationships, and kind of give you some insight if you're not understanding the why, the what, the who. So like I was saying, people like to question others, especially the women that are involved in certain types of abusive relationships. And only talking about I'm only talking about the guys at this point, the abusive guys with their girlfriends or wives or whatever the case is. And I can relate, because I was one of those people that got with friends and agreed, like, oh, I don't understand why she's with this guy, and if all she does is complain about him, why not just leave him? So it's easier said than done, I realized, and I got a lot of information from my friend, and she filled me in and kept me informed, and I was able to take a lot of notes and look up certain things and get into the know of these behaviors, and I was able to understand where she was coming from. And I am totally sorry to you that I kind of misjudged, if anything. And we're not one to judge, and I'm always preaching that, but I do catch myself sometimes behaving in ways that I'm telling people not to behave, and it's not right. And sometimes just being human is a mistake of it on its own. So my apologies to you, and I want to keep everybody in the know about this. I hope I can help some of you, or most of you, see the why, as well as help some of you that can or can't face or convince yourselves of the hurt you are dealing with, and realize you need to learn to love yourself more. Um, I believe that there's women that don't know that they're in an abusive relationship because of the narcissistic behavior, as I mentioned earlier, of the other person. I know that there's women that know that they're in a situation that's abusive, but they don't know how to get away from it because of fear of the consequences or the outcome or reaction, let's say, for example, of the individual that's causing the abuse. So I'm sorry, I'm just reading some stuff that I wrote down to share with y'all because I just want to make things clear. I get it, and I just threw this in there because, you know, nowadays women want to talk about equal rights, and I totally agree with that. But there's men that question the motive of women wanting equal rights, and then they wanna what? Abuse them or beat on them because they feel they're equal to them. No, it's about the mind. They're equal because they are as smart or even smarter than us. They deserve the recognition. They deserve the pay, for example. So it doesn't mean that they want to be equal so I can beat her up. I can push her and punch her as much as I want to if she upsets me. No, that's not what it is. I may be far-fetched with this or going too far with this, but I just wanted to kind of pinpoint that out because I do know some people, guys, that this whole equal rights thing, they feel as if, okay, man, if the woman wants to be equal to me, then she's willing to take a punch. No, it doesn't work that way. And I got a message for you guys watching this and not liking what I'm saying. And honestly, if you don't like what I'm saying about this situation, then you need to kind of look in the mirror and figure out what it is that's causing you to not like this, because that scares me. That scares me in a way that I fear you. It scares me in a way that I am a man just like you are, and your behavior is not representing me as a man either, and it's making me look like crap. And so I can tell you to read my story or know my story, but I'm not going to spend my time explaining that. But if you see me, I am disabled, I am weak, but I am your gender. Okay, I'm very limited to doing things, and I'm not saying that women are weak and not capable. I'm just saying I am a man, weaker than normal. You want somebody to use as a punching bag, you want somebody to shove around or cuss at or try to manipulate or do whatever it is that you do, then I invite you to come at me. But I say that because then she's not the one that's going to be taking the abuse. Maybe you feel better doing it to another man. And even with that, I can welcome you to try. But my intentions are not bad. Your intentions probably are. So I want women to understand. Women, you need to understand you are not weak because you take on these abuse or this abuse. I'm sorry. Can I assume you might be scared? Yeah, I can assume you're probably scared. Probably you are, but for the most part, I don't think you're scared either. I don't think you're weak or you're scared. I think you're hopeful. Being hopeful is hoping that this relationship is going to turn around and get better. Now, the time that you spent in this relationship is another story of its own. But I'm here to explain to you that this hope that you have, you need to get rid of it. Because you need to give yourself the opportunity to be found by the man that will love you and accept you for you. You have a choice in this relationship you're in. Understand that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just asking you to understand that. Choosing between pain, you're pretty much choosing between dealing with pain or trying to figure out if he's going to help prevent you from receiving this pain. And if he hasn't done so in the time that you've been together, remember, you can choose to make a difference, or you can choose to not suffer, because he's choosing to make you suffer by you being in this relationship. He can easily tell you, you know what, it's better for us to go our separate ways, but no, let me just continue to let you suffer and manipulate you into thinking that you're the problem, so you need to stick around and fix yourself so you can stay with me because you're hurting me. No, he's hurting you, and you need to open your eyes to that. It's nothing that's causing him to abuse you mentally, physically, emotionally, or narcissistically. It's not you, it's him. And in some cases it's her. There's some men that take this abuse. So I wanted to start by discussing something called cognitive dissonance. And if you don't know what that is, I suggest that you look it up and educate yourself on that. But cognitive dissonance is when someone knows they deserve better, but decides to stay with the one that breaks them. It's the pain of knowing that the truth it's the pain of knowing the truth, okay? And still choosing the lie over the truth. So one part of you is saying, I'm not happy, and the other part of you is saying or convincing yourself that you still love this person for whatever reason. This causes you to rewrite the pain and call it loyalty, let's say. I'm loyal to him, I'm loyal to her, whatever. Yet he's causing you pain, but you want to be loyal to him because maybe he feels you're not loyal, so you are the one causing him the pain and not the other way around. Okay? And you get to the point where you get convinced that your history is going to be what eventually makes the difference. But if you look at your history, you know that the history speaks for itself. All the fighting, all the arguing, all the blaming you, and you trying to tell him that you don't feel good, but he finds a way to twist it around. Yeah, that's it leads me to believe that all this interferes with what really is going on. And what really is going on is fear of being alone, of starting over with somebody else, of having to go through all this again. You don't want to do that anymore. You have already gone this far. Why do you want to start over? You probably think there's a way that this can be fixed, and there isn't. So, and the expectation of your experience sits with you and causes you to misinterpret what is going on. But what doesn't help the cause of this is the manipulation you're dealing with, which leads me to talk about narcissistic behavioral abuse. Look that up as well. Look up narcissistic behavioral abuse or narcissistic abuse cycle. Look those up. That's predictable, manipulative, and very devastating. And when I say predictable, you know it's going to happen. Whatever it is that's happening, you know it's going to happen. But he uses manipulation to flip it around on you. So, with that being said, And this is a real medical condition. Narcissism, or narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a medical condition. Now, if there is somebody acting this way and they know that they're acting this way, then, and doing it on purpose, then there's a problem, a big problem for you. For you, there's a big problem. He's using that against you. He's able to manipulate you. He's using your kindness for weakness. He's taking advantage of the situation. So it will begin with charm after the abuse. So let's say he abuses you, however, and then all of a sudden he'll come up to you with affection, saying I'm sorry, not meaning it, but tricking you into believing that he is sorry and that he's being affectionate with you. And it causes a little bit of a confusion in you, if anything, and you end up kind of collapsing because you're not understanding what's going on. So it's really when you receive affection or relief between the episodes of abuse. So they throw in this relief in between these abusive episodes, whether it's verbal, emotional, whatever the case is, physical, however. And then what happens after all that? It creates something called a trauma bond. A trauma bond. Look that up. And then a lot of you will understand why your friend is still with so-and-so, still dealing with this relationship. It's because of trauma bond. These are real issues that we deal with as people, but don't understand because we don't sit there and listen and understand the situation. All we can do is what? Go to somebody else and get their opinion and believe the opinion and make that individual feel like they're the problem, or help them feel more like they're the problem. No. So trauma bond is driven by something called intermittent reinforcement. All right, this is moments of affection or relief between abusive episodes, and this is a false bond that the abuser is creating. A false bond that the abuser is creating. Trauma bond. It's not a bond, a good, happy bond. It's a traumatic bond that the abuser is creating. So it makes you feel regretful for what happened, only to go back and continue the abuse. So it creates a powerful emotional link that can override logic or external warnings. Meaning you being able to understand what is real, the reality of things, it interferes with that trauma bond interferes with your ability to understand what is really going on here. And you believe that you're the problem. You're not the problem. You never were the problem. But he finds a way to make you feel like you're the problem, or that you're the reason why he's acting the way he's acting. It's because of you. No, it's not because of you. You're not the reason. And you know, the what I mentioned earlier about the narcissistic behavioral abuse, it leads to the trauma bond suffered by the one being abused, and it leads them to believe, or confuses them, that they are the problem, that you are the problem. That makes you feel confused and take the blame for his behavior and the manipulation and the twisting, and twisting what they are making you feel, and flip it as if you are making them feel the way they make you feel, the way that you try to describe to them how they're making you feel. And I'm speaking to women that may not know that they're in these relationships, but I'm just giving you some insight. I just want to share some info with all of you. And look up something called gaslighting, because that's a big part of being narcissistic. Gaslighting, look it up, find out what that means. And that's what women of abusive relationships deal with. And yes, guys too, they do, but more women than guys. So before I end this sorry, this discussion, I wanted to add a couple things that I wanted to share with women that are involved in these type of relationships, and I hope this can register. So to all women suffering and struggling in quiet and private, time is on your side. I want you to understand that time is on your side. It feels like it isn't if you're stuck in the situation. There is someone for you out there. There is someone for everybody out there. You just have to allow them to find you by not wasting your time on the one hurting you and giving you false hopes. These are my words to you. Alright? Because I don't know you, but I do care. And I'm again, this is all coming from what my friend shared with me as a woman dealing with this type of relationship, and I get it now. And another thing, one last thing I want to end it with, and I hope this really, really, really registers. No one plays the victim better than the person causing the damage on you. Remember that, please. No one plays the victim better than the person causing the damage. Understand that. Understand that. So, 3 things I want, or I need all of you to understand or look into so you can kind of get an idea, a glimpse of what is really happening. Look up cognitive dissonance. Understand it. Look up narcissistic behavioral abuse. Understand that as well. Alright? Look up trauma bond. Understand what that is. And you will have an idea of what these women, mostly women, are going through. And maybe and some men are as well. But it's for us to understand this and help them feel we recognize what's going on. We know what you need to do. So tell them what they need to do. They need to recognize the abuse. That's number 1. Recognize it. Start building self-worth, because they probably feel worthless. They probably feel like they're no value, because they keep on feeling like they're disappointing their other half. Okay? They need to create distance from this abusive person. That's 3. And number 4, the most important one of all, learn to love yourself. Love yourself more than you love this other person. You are completely switching sides here. You cannot love him or her more than you love yourself. Love yourself and get away from this headache or this trauma. And for you guys, friends, family members, turning your back on individuals because you don't understand why they're in this relationship or that, you care about them, you stay in touch with them. Don't turn your back on them, because they need you more than they need anyone else. But just because they're making decisions doesn't mean they're deciding. It's not like they're saying, I want to be with a guy that's going to abuse me forever. Let me just stay in this relationship. That's not what's happening. That is definitely not what happened or is happening. So with that, I say goodbye. Thank you for watching. I love you all. I appreciate you. Keep in mind, one more thing. A lot of you Gen Zers may not be facing this type of abuse. I don't want to say yet. I hope you don't. But Gen Zers in your teens, late teens, you probably are starting to face this. Just make yourself aware. make yourself aware. Millennials, you know what's going on. Gen Xers, I mean, I expect better from you, if anything, but I'm Gen X, and I'm allowed to say that. And if there are any baby boomers out there watching this, I can only hope you relate, because I learned from a baby boomer that is wrong to behave that way with women. So everybody take this into consideration. Save this. Please like, share, follow. I need this to get out to as many people as possible to keep them aware. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I hope all of you have a great night. And take care. Bye-bye.